For the vision is yet for an appointed time, but at the end it shall speak and not lie. Though it tarry, wait for it, because it will surely come. It will not tarry.
We're about to abandon the traditional system of money and accounting and introduce a new one. And the new accounting is what we call blockchain. It means digital. It means having a almost perfect record of every single transaction that happens in the economy.
Now, figure that one out. If they control the situation so much they can control the economy, that is no longer freedom. That is no longer free enterprise.
There'll be no more cash. And this is getting me straight from Rockefeller himself. This is what they want to accomplish.
Given the speed at which technology is developing, the widespread adoption might be far less off than we think.
All money is to be
In those chips.
You know, my country was the first where they made cash illegal. 2016, digitalization was forced on the country. 8 o'clock in the evening announced midnight, cash was illegal, the big notes. And 70% of the economy crashed. This digitalization is now going all over the world, and there's a war on cash. They call it war on cash, because cash is merely a medium of exchange. It has no value in itself. It's just a promise. You read the dollar note, it says, I promise to pay the bearer. When it's digital, even a credit card, you know, you're giving rents to the global financial system. But when it's cryptocurrency in the hands of algorithms, in the hands of big tech, they will do what is happening in China. Create social credit system to decide a new cost system.
Banks, and more banks. I'm going to tell you two anecdotal accounts. One comes from Doug Thornton, former DHS. He is my partner on the Doug and Dave Intel Report. And the other is what I observed in the bank recently. And we're going to talk about these two anecdotal accounts and how I think we need to be word to the wise, and you should be talking to your tellers. Talk to the bankers. Doug was in his bank, asked the teller, say, well, how are things going? She goes, oh, we're getting ready for this digital, what? Doug said, yeah, she said to Doug, we're getting ready for the digital. She said, we've been briefed that there's going to be a currency collapse with the dollar in and around February, and we're preparing right now to go digital. We're being trained on this. And he said, you told not to talk about this? Yeah, but I don't think you're going to tell anybody. And she said, I'm looking for another job. They're going to use AI in all the banks. And she said, we're going to be out of jobs. So she goes, I really don't care if they find out. So that's anecdotal story number one. Anecdotal story number two is what I read with regard to bank withdrawals. And bank withdrawals are subject to the bank discretion now. They have the arbitrary right to determine how much of your money you can take out. That speaks to a liquidity problem which you would expect with a currency that's going to go hyperinflation. Oh my goodness. And these people are leveraged in their loans up to the hilt because of fractional reserve banking, loaning out $9 for every dollar deposited. So do you think they really have all your money on hand? No. And can the FDIC save you? Well, the FDIC has enough cash to cover less than 2% of the money that's deposited in American banks. And they have a pecking order they established in 2014 at the G20 conference in Brisbane, Australia, where they said, well, we're going to give the credit swap derivatives debt people first call, end of story. You'll never get to the front of the line. Now, they may do something nice for you, like they did in Cyprus 5 years ago, and say, well, you had 100,000 in the bank and now you got 5,000. That's your best case scenario. I realize these are anecdotal accounts, not based on hard research. But I'm looking at it like the mild chest pains before the heart attack. I would suggest you start talking to your bankers. I know I'm going to do a lot of talking to tellers, because if tellers are being trained for this, they're the most likely to tell you what's going on, because digital will be AI. They'll be looking for jobs. They don't care.
There will be fewer and fewer jobs that a robot cannot do better.
Okay.
What to do about mass unemployment? This is going to be a massive social challenge. And I think ultimately we will have to have some kind of universal basic income. I don't think we're going to have a choice.
Universal basic income.
Universal basic income. I think it's going to be necessary.
So it means that unemployed people will be paid across the globe.
Yeah.